Youth believes it knows everything. Mike Tyson, 19 years old, the world's most feared young boxer. Destructive power, unlimited confidence. The old generation? Finished, irrelevant, past their time. When he met Joe Frazier, he said, "Old champions are finished." But experience teaches lessons youth can't imagine. Joe's 60-second demonstration showed Mike that age brings wisdom, not weakness. The young lion learned respect from the old lion that night. New York City, Brooklyn. November 1985, Gleason's gym, Dumbo neighborhood, boxing's most authentic temple. Concrete floors, heavy bags, speed bags, ring in the center, sweat, determination, dreams mixing in the thick air. No luxury, no comfort, just pure boxing culture where champions are made. Saturday evening, 6 p.m. The gym is mostly empty, serious fighters finishing their training. Echoing sounds of gloves hitting bags, feet shuffling, trainers shouting instructions. This is where legends develop their skills, not where tourists visit. Mike Tyson is shadow boxing in the corner. 19 years old, 5 feet 10 inches, 218 pounds of pure destruction. Compact frame hiding explosive power. Each movement loaded with violence potential. The fastest hands anyone's seen at the heavyweight level. Intimidating presence even during light training. He's undefeated. 15-0 professional record. 15 knockouts. Never gone beyond the 4th round. Opponents falling like dominoes. Boxing media calling him the next Muhammad Ali, but more dangerous, more destructive. Youth carrying unlimited confidence. Mike believes he's revolutionizing boxing. Old school methods are obsolete. Past champions are ancient history. His generation understands fighting better, trains smarter, hits harder. Traditional boxing fighters are dinosaurs, relics from a primitive era. Cus D'Amato, his mentor, died a few months ago. Mike is feeling invincible but also alone. No father figure restraining his ego. Arrogance growing daily with each knockout victory. Joe Frazier enters the gym quietly. 41 years old, retired for 5 years, still training occasionally, staying in shape. Massive frame, weathered face, eyes showing decades of combat experience. Smokin' Joe, Ali Trilogy Warrior, Philadelphia legend. He's here visiting an old friend, trainer Eddie Futch. Not seeking attention, just paying respects to the boxing temple where great fighters develop. Simple tracksuit, modest presence, respectful of the environment. Mike notices immediately. Recognition is instant but dismissive. Old champion from a different era. Irrelevant to modern boxing. Mike continues shadow boxing, showing off for the legendary figure, demonstrating new generation power. Joe approaches respectfully. "Mike Tyson, pleasure to meet you. I've heard great things." Mike stops training, turns. No respect in his eyes, just tolerance for the interruption. "Joe Frazier. Yeah, I know who you are." Cold acknowledgement. Joe extends his hand. Mike shakes briefly, impatiently. He wants to continue training, not chat with a retiree. "You look sharp," Joe says genuinely. "Impressive speed for a heavyweight." "Speed, power, everything," Mike responds arrogantly. "New generation boxing, different level than your era." Joe raises an eyebrow. Interesting perspective from a 19-year-old with 1 year of professional experience. "Different how?" Joe asks curiously. "Everything evolved. Training methods, nutrition, psychology. You old guys fought primitive style, no science." An insult, masked as factual observation. Joe remains calm, accustomed to youth's ignorance. "We learned some things back then," Joe says diplomatically. "Maybe," Mike dismisses, "but that was then. Old champions are finished now, can't compete with the new generation." Direct disrespect. Other gym members notice the conversation tension, Mike's arrogance meeting Joe's dignity. Finished? Joe repeats quietly. Finished. Done. Over. Your time passed. Allie, Foreman, you, all relics. Modern fighters would destroy you. Bold claim from a teenager addressing a three-time heavyweight champion who fought Muhammad Ali in the greatest trilogy in boxing history. Joe studies Mike carefully. Incredible physical tools, no question. Speed, power, athleticism, all at elite level. But understanding of boxing, zero respect for history, dangerous combination. Mike, can I share something with you? What? Impatient tone. Boxing isn't just about physical tools. Experience teaches things youth can't learn in the gym. Mike scoffs. Like what? How to lose. You lost to Ali twice. Cutting insult. Joe fought Ali 3 times, won once, lost twice in the greatest heavyweight battles ever. Mike is reducing a legendary career to a simple win-loss record. Those fights taught me things you haven't learned yet, such as how to think when hurt, how to adapt when your best isn't working, how to find will when your body wants to quit. Mike laughs. I don't get hurt. I don't need to adapt. I quit when I decide to quit. Classic youth response. Unlimited confidence based on limited experience. Every fighter gets tested eventually, Joe says. Not me. I'm different. You are different, special talent. But boxing tests everyone. Old man, you don't understand modern boxing. I would have destroyed fighters from your era. Now, a direct challenge. Joe's patience is tested, but wisdom guides his response. Maybe. You're very skilled, but let me ask something. What? You think age makes fighters weak? Of course. Reflexes slow, power decreases, heart gets soft. Sometimes, but age also brings wisdom, experience, understanding. Mike is dismissive. Wisdom doesn't matter when you're getting knocked out. Joe nods thoughtfully. True, but what if wisdom prevents the knockout? How? Let me show you something. Show what? Stand ready like you're fighting. Mike grins. Easy request. He drops into his stance, hands up, ready for whatever the old man wants to demonstrate. Joe moves casually, no threatening gestures, just walking around Mike, observing, like a trainer studying a student. What are you looking for? Mike asks impatiently. Watching how you move. Very good form. Mike is proud of the compliment. He relaxes slightly, showing off stance adjustments. Then Joe moves. Not fast like a young fighter, not explosive like an athlete, just experienced movement with perfect timing. He steps inside Mike's guard while Mike is showing off, gentle palm touch to Mike's ribs. Mike realizes too late. Joe's hand is already inside his defense, touching a vital point. If that had been a punch with intent, Mike would be hurt badly. How did you... Mike starts. Joe steps back calmly. Experience. You showed me an opening without realizing it. Mike's confidence is shaken. He didn't see the approach, couldn't react, was completely vulnerable. Do it again, Mike demands. Why? I wasn't ready. Joe shakes his head. In a real fight, your opponent doesn't announce attacks. One more time. I'll be ready. Joe sighs. Mike, this isn't about proving anything. Please, show me again. Joe reluctantly agrees. Mike sets a perfect stance, complete focus, watching every movement. Joe circles again. Mike is tracking carefully. Then conversation distraction. Your footwork is excellent for a heavyweight. Mike acknowledges the compliment, attention divided for a fraction of a second. Joe immediately steps inside from a different angle, touches his stomach. Again, complete penetration of defense. Damn, Mike whispers. Experience teaches timing, when to move, When to wait. You were watching my hands, not my feet. Third attempt. Mike demands another chance. This time, pure focus, no distractions allowed. Joe approaches differently. Feints movement, Mike reacts, creates an opening. Joe's hand finds his shoulder. 3 times, 3 different approaches, 3 successful penetrations. Mike is breathing differently now, ego deflating rapidly. You're fast, Mike admits. Not fast, experienced. I know when to move because I've seen every opening before. Teach me. Surprising request from the arrogant youth. Joe sees an opportunity for real education. First lesson, respect those who came before. They survived battles you haven't faced yet. Mike nods, humbled. Second lesson, every opponent teaches something. Even defeats contain wisdom. What did Ali teach you? Patience, adaptation, heart bigger than ego. Mike is processing. First time considering boxing beyond physical dominance. Third lesson, age isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's accumulated wisdom. But you're retired, couldn't compete now. Joe smiles. Physically, you're right, but mentally, I understand boxing better than ever. How? Experience shows patterns. I've seen every style, every trick, every way a fight can change. Would you teach me? Joe is surprised by the sincerity. You have trainers. They teach technique. You could teach understanding. Joe considers. A young man with incredible talent but zero humility just showed capacity for learning. You'd have to change your attitude first. How? Stop dismissing past champions. Start studying them. Learn why they succeeded. Even if they'd lose to modern fighters? Especially then. Understanding their strengths teaches you weaknesses in your game. Mike is thinking seriously now. My game has weaknesses? Every fighter has weaknesses. The question is whether you discover them in training or in a fight. Profound truth. Mike never considered systematic weakness analysis. What are my weaknesses? That's homework. Study film of great champions. Figure out what you lack that they had. Like what? Patience, ring intelligence, ability to win ugly fights, fighting when hurt. The list is hitting hard. Mike's strengths are all about devastating, quick victories. You think I'll face those situations? Guaranteed. The question is whether you'll be prepared. Mike is nodding slowly, reality setting in. Mr. Frazier, I apologize for the disrespect. No need. Youth is supposed to challenge experience. Just do it intelligently. Would you really train me? I'd share what I know, but you'd have to earn it. How? Show respect for boxing history, study past champions, understand this sport is bigger than just your career. Mike extends his hand properly this time. Deal. Joe shakes firmly. Deal. But remember, respect is ongoing, not a one-time payment. Understood? 2 months later, Mike is calling Joe regularly, asking questions about Ali fights, Foreman battle, boxing psychology. Joe is a patient teacher, sharing decades of ring wisdom. Mike's interviews change. He stops dismissing older fighters, starts acknowledging boxing history, learning from past champions. His trainer notices Mike studying fight film obsessively, not just for entertainment, for education, analyzing why certain fighters succeeded despite physical limitations. Joe attends Mike's fights occasionally, watches the young destroyer incorporating patience, ring intelligence into his natural tools. A devastating combination is developing. After one knockout victory, a reporter asks Mike about his improvement. Learning from Joe Frazier, Mike says simply. The man taught me boxing is bigger than just punching power. What did he teach specifically? Respect for opponents, for history, for the sport itself. changes how you approach everything. The reporter is surprised by the mature answer from a 20-year-old knockout artist. Joe is watching the interview, proud of his student's growth. Youth's arrogance replaced by respectful confidence. When Mike wins the heavyweight title in 1986, the first person he calls is Joe. "I did it, Mr. Frazier." "Congratulations, champion. You earned it." "Couldn't have done it without the lessons you taught. You had the talent all along, just needed direction. Thank you for taking time with a disrespectful kid. Thank you for being willing to learn." Years later, Mike's career has ups and downs: prison, comeback, defeats, victories. Through everything, he maintains his relationship with Joe. When Mike gets older, faces younger fighters, he understands Joe's lesson completely. Experience versus youth, wisdom versus athleticism, respect versus arrogance. Young fighters dismiss old Mike, the same way he dismissed Joe. The cycle continues. Mike tells reporters about Joe's influence. "The man taught me that champions aren't finished when they retire. They become teachers. Wisdom doesn't have an expiration date." When Joe passes away in 2011, Mike speaks at the service. "Joe Frazier saved my career before it really started. Taught a 19-year-old arrogant kid about respect, not just for opponents, but for boxing itself." Mike continues, 60 seconds in a gym taught me a lifetime of lessons. Age isn't weakness when it carries wisdom. Champions are never finished. They just transition from fighters to teachers." The audience includes many fighters who learned similar lessons from Joe. Different encounters, same wisdom. Respect those who came before. They survived battles you haven't faced. Mike's final words: "Joe Frazier made me a better fighter by making me a better person. Turned arrogant youth into respectful champion." The story spreads through the boxing community. Young fighters hear it, understand the importance of humility, respect for history. Boxing gyms display quotes from the encounter. "Age brings wisdom, not weakness." Champions transition from fighters to teachers. Respect is ongoing, not a one-time payment. 60 Seconds in 1985 created a lifetime of mutual respect. Joe's patience with arrogant youth. Mike's capacity for learning despite his ego. Generational wisdom transfer. Experience teaching youth. Humility replacing arrogance. That's boxing at its best. Not just physical combat, but mental and spiritual education. Old lions teaching young lions how to become true champions. Joe understood this, shared this understanding with grace, changed a promising fighter into a great champion by changing his character first. Mike learned this, applied this throughout his career, passed the lesson to the next generation when his time came. 60 seconds of demonstration, lifetime of education, youth meeting experience, arrogance meeting wisdom, pride meeting humility. Boxing's greatest lesson: champions are never finished, they just evolve from fighters to teachers. Joe Frazier proved this. Mike Tyson learned this. The circle continues.